Hello, everyone, and welcome out to episode 374 of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. But before we get into more from Marianne and Keith, who are our guests for this episode, and what we're going to talk about, just a heads up, you should check out our friends at Pack Rat Comics. We usually talk about Mad Lab, but by the time this goes up, you've missed Theater Roulette, and for shame on you. But you can check out some other stuff they have coming up. Why did you? Was that like a shrug?
No.
Mad Lab Theater Roulette was awesome. You're in it. You're in a great sketch.
I'm not just
Young Writers is coming up.
Young Writers is coming up, though. See, we saved you. We got your back, son. Young Writers, and tons of other stuff, too. But Pack Rat Comics, we haven't plugged them in a while, so go to packratcomics.com for all your comic book graphic novel needs if you're in the central Columbus area. And say hello to Jamie and Teresa and tell them that Nick sent you. I'm trying that out. Let's see how it goes. And so I'm hoping at some point, it's like, did you tell them to go on our podcast? It's like, I tell them that usually all the time. But no, seriously, check them out. They are super nice and really family friendly, especially if you're new to comic books. They are very friendly. They have a whole section for new readers, and they will take time to go, what are your interests? What do you like? What do you don't like? And they'll go around.
And they'll order stuff for you, too. Austin used to always order...
Yeah.
Assassination Classroom and Orin Host Club for me.
Yeah. Have you read, I think we talked about this last time, have you read Snot Girl?
I have not.
I want to read that one really bad. It's by Brian O'Malley, who did Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, nice.
And I heard it's not video gaming like you would maybe think with Brian O'Malley. It's actually kind of a comedy, but it's kind of serious too. So yeah, because I remember they suggested that for me, and it's just one of those things I've had time to... And of course, the ever-marching time drum beats on. So now it's just like I'm like more issues behind.
I know.
But for more information, to check out our friends like Pack Rat, Mad Lab, and other links, go to gbgpodcast.com. Our official sponsor of the show, though, is Audible, with over 200,000 titles to choose from. You get 3 days of membership free, plus a book to get you started. And with that one book, we suggest that you, if only there was someone here. Keith, what would you suggest we download?
Well, maybe something by the narrator.
Who would that be?
I think he goes by J. Heath Jackson.
Sounds awfully like you, but I'm going to guess that it is you, and it's fantastic. So please check it out. And here's the thing, too. Part of your membership, you get a book a month, because you get a credit a month. Usually that means you can get a book from it. We suggest getting all the books in the J. Keith Jackson narration category. And here's the great thing, though, too, is that it's ad-free, premium audio you listen to offline, no interruptions, and you own your library, too, which is super important. So, like, say, because Christmas is coming up in 6 months or so, some people start saving. I start buying things now.
Immediately.
Yeah. So, if probably around September, if things are getting really tight, I go, you know what? I can't do this anymore. You keep your library. It's so great. And you know what? And you can just start it back up again. And you get 30% off in exclusive member-only savings. And say you get a book by, that M. Night Tyson fella, and you don't like that, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. You don't dig it. You can switch it out for, say, a J. Keith Jackson book, which you will enjoy. So swap it out for free anytime. And it's super easy. Just have an Amazon Prime account and go to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky and get your first book free. And it also helps if you have the Audible app. So that's also helpful. And I have on the show today with me, which we'll get into our next little bit here. It's not a bit, but to plug something. I like to read the copy so I feel official with it. And I don't have it here with me. It's in a different file.
That's all right.
But we have Marianne and Keith, who are in the Marianne's Macabre
movie review.
You're still movie review for the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. A podcast released, but it's taking a bit of a hiatus, right?
Yeah, we're going to, at 20th episode, we're going to stop for a bit. We're going to record a bunch of episodes, get everything set and done, and then we'll just be ready to start in October.
Boo yaka sha. So, and there's tons of thrills, chills, and you make a good horror film, or if you don't make a good horror film, Marianne will be there to review it.
Yes.
And you can subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out Marianne's Macabre movie review. And it's pretty great. And they do international releases along with the American remakes, or sometimes just the international films.
We compare the two. Like, our first one we did was Kayako versus Sadako.
Which is The Ring versus...
Right. The Grudge.
The Grudge, that's right.
And that was a lot of fun. We just did that one by itself. Hopefully that doesn't get made into a U.S. release. But Rings came out soon after. Yeah. Which was just Sadako, or Samara, as we go by in the American version. And that was a stinker.
I don't know about that.
You didn't think it was a stinker?
Rings?
Rings.
We talked about that. Well, obviously on the episode, it wasn't. I'm sure that the first reaction from a lot of people is, "Oh, this is awful." But there was the.
They had great ideas with it, and then it didn't go anywhere.
Right, that they started to explore something very interesting, and then it just kind of went somewhere else.
By the way, I like to point out, if you don't know what I'm going to say to you right now, and this has nothing to do with this episode per se, but I just now remember this, and I feel the need to correct myself, a retraction, if you will. AKA, Nick was wrong about something. In the big Infinity War episode, I said that in the image of the trailer, that was Killmonger. That is not Killmonger. That is actually, and you didn't see him a lot in the first Black Panther movie, or first Black Panther movie.
The only Black Panther movie?
Yet.
By the time this comes out.
By the time this comes out, if you're listening to this in the future, which is the now, because podcasts are time travel, no matter what you look at it. It's the future, the past, or the present. Literally, you see the guards in Infinity War, and there's just his royal guard mixed with the one tribe. I can't think of the name.
The Jabardi?
Yeah, the Jabardi. There's kind of multiple things going on, multiple tribes that help protect the king, and then he has his own royal guard along with like the female priestess warriors. I'm not saying that right. I'm sorry.
His royal guard, are they?
No, I had the name in my head just not too long
ago. Well,
ago.
the women, I think, are his direct royal guard, right? But there's another set of just royal soldiers, I guess you would say. They wear like the gold makeup, kind of what Killmonger wears. But I realized that that's what that was, because when I saw it the third time, I saw them in the background. I was like, oh no, that's just part of his army. So that's a retraction. I really... We had a spiritful debate in the episode about it, and I was like, no, it's Killmonger, and it's not Killmonger. I'm very wrong, so I apologize.
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah. Dora Milaje. So,
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje.
Yes.
It's like Dora the Explorer, and then Milaje. Well, then you're on your fucking own for that one. But
Milaje Trois.
Milaje. Ménage à trois, but at some point my brain will be like Dora Ménage à trois.
And you're like,
and then that's a very different thing.
No.
It's a very different thing. But so we have Keith, as you heard, does books under the narration of J. Keith Jackson. I'm starting to slowly get it now. It's starting to come to me a little bit faster. Well, because I call you Keith. I call you Keith Jackson. I was like, hello, Keith Jackson. How are you doing today? Right. But I never sit there and go, yeah, this really good guy, Keith Jackson. Have you heard of him? I don't say J. Keith Jackson. But it's coming easier to my tongue. So, but you do that. You also do It's All Been Tracked. It's All Been on Radio Hour, and you were just in Theater Roulette.
Yes.
In the past night, right?
Yes. Also in the past.
We're recording this like the No, time travel is weird.
In case you don't know the theme, I mean, because I'm just saying the people when you say that they would think you mean.
Well, that's why they should have went to Mad Lab at madlab.net and bought tickets to watch the show, and then they would have found out. See, Keith, we're all about bringing it back.
Right. Past, present, future.
Is the theme.
Red, green, black.
Yes. And that part is always the same, right? Because in a way, you are taking bets on what you're seeing. Yeah. You're not really sure every time what you're getting. Yep. Which I think is a really neat concept, and was and still is, as of right now, the longest running shorts festival in Ohio. Yep. But enough of this. We're here to talk about the Juggernaut, bitch. We're here to talk about Deadpool 2. Who
he never says that line.
He doesn't. I don't remember saying that in the comic books, though, either.
He probably didn't. Not before.
And by the way, we should say real quick, because I already feel really bad about this. There are spoilers, and we kind of. I just did a no. I usually am really good about that. By the way, can I also point out? Jim texted me in the morning. He's just like, so I'm listening to Black Panther, and because I just saw the movie, it's really good, and I'm listening to your episode, and then you spoil Last Jedi, and you talk, and somehow it relates to the Black Panther, and I'm just like, oh.
Has he not seen Last Jedi?
No.
That's his own damn fault.
No, I kind of agree with that, but as my friend, I'm going like, I feel bad that it was me who said it, but then at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm not texting him, I'm just going, but it's been a while. But can we also point out the fact he has not known what that twist was? Spoilers, Luke died. Was a little bit of a shock because it's kind of like Infinity War. Yeah. Like my friend Nathan, he just overheard it naturally, and like it's really hard to just. And he didn't see it online. He overheard someone else. He didn't even know talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's hard, and so the fact that he had not heard that at all in itself is really impressive. Yeah. So I guess yay for that, but also it's been enough time. You should have seen it by now. Also, I have the Blu-ray. I'll probably let him borrow it soon.
I was gonna say, it was even out on disc yet, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's been out. I bought that fucker right away.
I put it on my wish list immediately.
Yeah, it came out
not too long ago.
I think Easter. I think around Easter time. Because like Jesus rose from the grave, so will Luke. So will. But yeah, so I apologize. That was a snafu on me. The Juggernaut is in this, but we already said spoilers. But yeah, we have other stuff to talk about though, not just the Juggernaut.
Deadpool 2.
Oh, God, I was like, oh, what did I forget?
No.
Oh, I forgot to say what it was.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2, and you know what? We didn't. I have a feeling we might forget to talk about this. We did not talk about the end credit sequence with Ryan Reynolds and Green Lantern.
I love that one so much.
That was really funny. Like, oh boy,
it's the perfect script.
Script. Now, here's the thing. I want to go back and see if they did it say Green Lantern or did it say Green Lantern by? Because I want to see
Green Lantern by Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, it did. Say Ryan Reynolds. Okay.
That's what I thought was funny. Good. I was like, he didn't write that.
No, it was Mark Guggenheim actually, who runs the Arrowverse, the DC TV universe. He's one of the main people.
He's doing a good job at it. I think
he really is. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, and Ryan Reynolds' defense too, and the Green Lantern's defense that was written during the writer's strike. Yeah, and so they couldn't. It's not like Iron Man where Ryan Reynolds go like, I'm funny, let me ad-lib some lines. It's like, you can't do that. That's against the writer's thing, which is weird. Because technically, you are considered to be a writer at that point. I don't know. It's really fucking weird.
Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds was miscast as Hal Jordan. I feel like he should have been a Guy Gardner. He needs more of or maybe a Kyle Rayner. Is that who I'm thinking of?
The younger one who wasn't. I don't know if he's as quippy as a Guy Gardner, who was probably
okay.
More
Then
like
Guy, I would say.
I always thought like Hal was a little quippy, not too much, but
he's more of the heroic. I would call him more of the
like
heroic
Nathan
Fillion type than I would put him. And even Nathan Fillion throws in the quips when he's doing the animated Green Lantern. So gotcha. I don't know. But it was definitely not a Ryan Reynolds role, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. I think it was definitely he should have been a different Lantern.
I gotcha.
I mean, still Green Lantern, but just
not Hal.
Yeah, Hal, yeah.
Okay.
Because they have 6 for Earth, for the sector that Earth is in.
By the way, I'd like to point out, these guys know what they're talking about when I talk about lanterns, because you guys got married. Yeah.
I have a Blue Lantern wedding ring.
I didn't see that. I just saw you guys had the plastic rings, I thought, originally.
Well, that originally, was it really,
in our when we got married in Vegas, we did the plastic wedding rings.
Because I think later we were at Packrat doing a show for It's All Been Done in Rocky and Bullwinkle. You guys found like one of the yellow rings, and I have it still. Yeah, it's upstairs. Nice. And so I always think of that. And then can I see that real quick? I'm sorry. Yeah. This is weird non-podcast moment. So I'm going to describe it. It looks like the Green Lantern ring, but it's blue, and it's really
lantern.
Fucking rad.
The Blue Lantern symbol.
It's the Blue Lantern.
So rad.
It is a symbol for hope.
That is so pretty. Oh, that is beautiful. That is awesome.
I made myself.
That is so good. That's so good. So we're going to talk more about Deadpool 2 and everything that lies within. And there's a lot of stuff to unpack. Is some of it bad? Some of it good? We'll find out. I don't know why I hesitate. In episode 374, that's why, of The Good, the Bad, and Geeky with Keith and Marianne.
Woo!
In this episode, as you heard in the intro, which we have already recorded, we have Marianne and Keith, and they're from the Marianne's Macabre movie review podcast, and also Keith for sure, but Marianne occasionally, more and more. It's All Been Done Radio Hour.
Yep.
Yay.
I'm going to be in it soon.
That's right. Yeah. You've already been in it, though?
I've already been in it a few times, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm Marlene and the Crazed Fan, a.k.a. Marianne.
I guess that's been published by now, hasn't it?
I'm sure.
Sure.
Crazed Fan has been in a few already.
Yeah. So, but we're here to talk about something which I feel is very near and dear to Keith's heart. I'm assuming your heart as well.
I like Deadpool.
We're talking about Deadpool 2.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so Deadpool 2, I mean, we're literally recording this did you guys see it Thursday or?
Yesterday.
Yes, you saw it yesterday too. And sorry, this is weird Columbus talk. Where did you guys go to see it at? Lennox?
Easton Prime.
There's a Prime?
No, there's the Easton Theater, and we were in one of the Dolby theaters.
Yeah.
How was it? I've not been to the Dolby.
It's amazing. I love the sound in it.
Really? Okay.
It's so good.
I haven't. So
I highly recommend
going. Was it
going.
the IMAX Dolby or is it just Dolby?
No, just Dolby Prime is what it's called.
Okay, I'll have to check that. Well, my wife is nervous about the Easton area.
Why?
She's known a lot of people that have gotten shot there in gang activity. And she doesn't want to. I have
not seen any of that.
Like in the mall itself, like around the areas, which is weird because Morse Road. This is weird Columbus talk. Probably edit some of this out because people at home won't know what the hell we're talking about. Anyway, Easton has a very nice theater, I think. Well, no. Last time I was there, they were still doing the normal chairs, and then I think they converted like one of the theaters into what is now very common in AMC, which is the reclining seats. And I heard they had done more theaters.
They're all like that now.
Pretty much. So really, Lennox is the last holdout, which I hate how they do the seating at Lennox. Anyway, but we're here to talk about Deadpool 2. And we saw it at Lennox, by the way. Still cut this out. So we're here to talk about Deadpool 2.
Yay, Deadpool!
And well, I guess we'll just say this. What did everyone quickly think about the movie? And I'll start with our guest, Marianne.
Well, I liked it. And I thought it was really funny.
Keith?
I liked it a lot. And it's difficult for me because it's still...
fresh in the brain?
Well, I'm still trying to settle on it and process it. And I think that I feel invested in the way it turns out. So in some senses, I feel like I have to like it or something, but at the same time, I get a little too picky too for certain things. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, I guess right now I really needed a comedy, and it fit the bill hardcore. There were some things
after Infinity War. We needed a comedy.
Well, yeah, and also I feel like I don't see a lot of comedies in theaters, and so even if they have to do it with superheroes, I am, and not like Iron Man comedy. I'm talking about like straight up, like it's mocking and is genuinely
its
funny.
Own genre. Yes,
it's mocking its
great.
Own. Yeah. And it mocks the stars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Now, there were some choices in the movie I didn't love, but oddly enough, it still stuck the landing.
Yes.
In a weird way. It's just, I just still don't like that choice, but God damn it if it wasn't funny. So, with that being said, we'll open it up to wherever anyone likes to go on
this. So I'll start.
I feel like she has something that she wants to talk about.
Tell me more.
Why did they have to kill off the woman?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that either. And as a matter of fact, I thought that they were going to open it up that they brought her back at the end with the time slip.
I think that's what they did.
Well, in the post-credit, it looked like they did. So
yeah.
It wasn't very clear to me because I was looking forward to that moment where she's just there. And, well, he kills the one guy with the cheese spreader, but like...
That's the one that had the gun.
Yeah, he came back, clearly stopped the thing that was going to happen.
Okay.
And then left again, saying, I gotta go take some...
Did you sharpen the butter knife?
Yeah.
Or the cream cheese spreader?
Yes.
And she's like, yes.
But he missed it. But he missed it the first time. But the second time he didn't miss it. But where's the other Deadpool? This is what now you're getting into like
it's that
bullshit
timey-wimey,
Can monkeys fly? That's really kind of the poke right now. Because again, it's the joke. But back in my head, I was like, does that mean there are two Deadpools running around? But I guess it was you didn't see her after that, or you didn't really hear her talk. And that's why I was just like, so wait a minute, did she still just get shot even though he killed the guy? Or
was it her time? And so she, no matter what he did,
is she the constant? Yeah, where she has to die every single
Or, or is she really alive in the next movie because she was pregnant during this one? So
it seems likely that they probably. I feel like they would have just sewn it up like that very quickly as a joke, and then next movie she could be back.
I hope it's that.
So because Eric Sternberger and I were talking about it because he has this thing of why the female isn't showing up in the film, and it's a letter, and it's like the form letter.
Oh yeah,
you are dear X. You are not here because your character, your male counterpart, needs growth or doesn't want to.
Yeah, I mean it's a funny letter, but it's also
very true.
Yeah, nail on the head.
So he floated two things: one that she was pregnant because she is.
I didn't know that.
Pregnant with the guy from Gotham. She thinks that
something. I believe.
Yeah. Oh, the guy who plays Gordon or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
Commissioner. I mean, he's only like a major part of the Batman franchise, but
that guy.
I gave up on Gotham a while ago, though. I mean, I catch up on it occasionally.
Well, it's
ending. I really want to come back to it.
It's ending, so we can actually catch up at our leisure after that instead of having to.
Well, unless it's it's usually going to live on Netflix. But.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're good.
The other idea was Blake Lively was a little irked by their chemistry that they had on screen and made a comment about that.
I did not know that. I really didn't know that. That's bizarre.
That's what Eric had heard. So I was like, interesting. I don't do any of those looking behind the scene things. I just
I sometimes listen to them, but it depends on what the project is. Like, but honestly, Deadpool 2, I felt like they got into production pretty quickly. The only thing I heard was there was a major creative disagreement between, I think, was it Tim Miller from the first, who co-wrote and directed the first film, and this one, and then he's like, "I'm really sorry, but if you don't do this, I'm out." I don't know what it was.
Yeah. I wonder what it was now.
I wonder. No, I do too. I wonder if maybe that was it. I don't know, because that did kind of irk me a bit watching. I was like, but the other thing is though too is they could also, because he dies consistently. That's part of his power.
Yeah,
she can always be there as that too.
Yeah,
and so, but I prefer not that. I would
prefer not that either.
Yeah,
Keith, do you want to tell them what you told me?
I actually thought it was going to be death. Well, this isn't what I was telling you, but I thought it was going to be death, the personification of death. That's someone he's in love with in the comics or in.
Yeah, and they get married. They get married, don't they?
I don't know about that.
No, he did get married to somebody, but it wasn't death. I don't think. I just know she wasn't. She had some kind of weird thing happen to her. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she's supposed to end up being. He's supposed to think that she is dead, and then she becomes copycat and comes back to torment him later.
Oh, okay.
In the comics, so I was more accustomed to seeing him alone and tortured anyway. So it would be kind of strange if they started this whole thing of, well, she's always around, and I think it would throw it way too far away from
the comic book.
Well. Okay, the other thing that really irked me was, and I'm sure and this is like minor, but the comic nerd in me was really pissed that they killed Shatterstar. Now, granted,
I was upset with that too.
I was laughing the entire time, but I was like, but literally,
I was like, Shatterstar.
I was like, no, I was like, oh, come on. I mean, but I was laughing as I was saying it. And then at the end, when they go back and they fix things, they shave Peter.
But they don't say
or Dave, whatever the hell his name is. They don't say Shatterstar, and that's
as far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah, I know, and that's what I was just like, really. And that poor actor, he's in it for like what, maybe 5 minutes, not even that, and he's in like all the big promotional blitz with everybody else, and except for T.J. Miller, which he shouldn't be in front of a camera right now because he's an asshole. Again, that's the sad thing is that I think the moments that Sarah and I laughed at the hardest in like the short amount of times were his jokes as Weasel with his back and forth.
Yeah.
But he's such a douchebag in real life. Yeah. Well, I heard some of the stuff with him, but his wife backed him up. She's like, I was there. That did not happen. And I was like, okay.
I don't know any of the reasons why we should be hating him. I just don't like him that much.
Well, he's apparently like hit on women and he's very anti-Me Too. Like, he's not, but like he's done stuff that makes him very against women and all that stuff. And his wife is like, I was at that party with him. That is not what happened. This girl hit on him and he tried to be funny about it and rebuffed her advances. But there's other people that have come up. And then the whole Silicon Valley thing happened where it's like, oh, he's an asshole. He shows up late to work every day. He doesn't memorize any of his lines. And also he would just like, there would be some days where he just wouldn't show up. And so they're waiting on him and they're wasting money. And like Mike Judd was like, it's very clear someone didn't want to be here. And it's like, well, that's sad because he is a really funny part of that show, but you don't need him either. Anyway, because someone said if you look at the poster, they have everything in there, and in the front of it is the kitchen sink. And I was like, everything but T.J. Miller's on that poster.
But the kitchen sink is there.
But the kitchen sink is there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I really that's the other thing that just irked me. Like everything else I get was the joke. But like I was like Shatterstar, like look, you don't have Boom Boom, and you don't. Or is it Cannonball? You don't have Cannonball either.
Are they an X-Force? Or?
They were. X-Force. I think was. I can't remember the cat name. She was like a female cat. I can't remember her name. They probably already killed her in Wolverine Origins. Who knows? That's the other thing. And
it would have been undone anyway because it would have Days of Future Past.
Well, in this movie, they undid some of that too. It's just they fucking that
was great.
Oh my god, that was wonderful.
Did they kill? Was that a new clip of Jackman, like, or was it reused footage?
I wondered about that
footage.
too.
It looked like it. He was too young.
Yeah, but I will say this though that I thought was really funny. I know you don't follow any of the promotional stuff, Keith, but did you see the clip of Hugh Jackman singing "Happy Birthday" to a little girl?
Yes,
and he's singing "Tomorrow." I think to
the
her.
sun will come out tomorrow.
And you just pan over and Deadpool. It's Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Everyone's going like, "Bet your bottom dollar, come on, Hugh!" And they sing it, and I'm just like, "Is he in the movie? Please say he's in the movie." He's kind of in the movie.
He's in it more times than I expected. I mean,
on
the Wheaties box. On
the Logan promotional log.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It took me a second to get the whole idea of what there's like. Oh my god, that's that scene, and yeah.
Oh my god. Also, this is jumping away from this, but because it's the beginning, can we also give mad love for Celine Dion for doing that fucking joke?
I love her.
I mean, I don't love her music. I think she's a very super talented artist. It's just that that's always her brand of music, and at some point,
could you remind me of what the
the opening sequence was "Ashes" by Celine Dion. She did a music video that you haven't seen yet, which I'm dying to show you.
Yeah, I've only seen like a clip of the video, and it is hysterical.
Video. It's great.
But no, Celine Dion, she doesn't really record a lot of new music. She just does her show in Vegas, and she just has her family, and she's okay with that. And that's cool, but she does like she's like Tony Bennett. She does standards, like standard pop ballads, and not even like pop. It's like old school, like Bower ballads kind of thing.
Yeah,
and and she's good at that. She keep doing it because she's amazing. She's a wonderful singer. It's just that at some point, like, I like that maybe every once in a while, not like for my whole thing, unless it's like, I'm in a Celine Dion mood. Let's go see her in Vegas. And
but I mean, was it like an Ashes Infinity War joke or something like that? Or
it seems like it was an Infinity War joke because it came out the week after we watched Infinity War.
Two things. It's a joke about Infinity War, and they're totally making fun of James Bond because it took me a second.
Yeah, they did it. The opening sequence is very James Bond.
Which and my wife, God love her, she doesn't watch a lot of James Bond. But she doesn't...
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not going to lie, too. The last, was it Spectre? Was just okay, even though Christoph Waltz, he's a wonderful actor, and he was okay, but I was just like, he's the... I feel like it would have been better... Oh. Okay. Yeah. And I fell asleep during the movie like 3 times. And once in the theaters, and when we watched it at home, it was only me, because I'm the one who kind of gave a shit what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this movie is so boring.
I feel like they need to change up their Bond. I think Daniel Craig is a little bit of a snoozer. I think they need to bring in someone like a Roger Moore type that can just do the one-liners and do the jokes.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. I wonder. I feel like was the one movie before Spectre that was really good.
That was the home one.
Where they brought in Q, young Q, and like tons of like little like. Bond was still like serious Bond, but everything around him was kind of
funny. Yes,
yeah.
They had Casino Royale, and then
Quantum of Solace. Snore. Though they did a lovely nod to Goldfinger, but they killed the lady with oil instead of gold, which that was just disgusting. The gold one, you just knew they spray painted her, and you're like watching it now, I was like a 6-year-old on TBS, they would show like Goldfinger all the time. I was like, oh, she spray painted. Oh, she died.
Well, who did the nod?
Skyfall was fantastic. Mm-hmm. I really liked that.
Who did the nod with oil? You're talking about the movie again.
Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
I think it was not Amy Adams, but Isla Fisher or someone with red hair. Bond girls usually, unless they're the lead, you don't find out who the lead is probably till like 3/4 of the way through.
They have a very suggestive name usually.
Yeah, but the first Bond girl of the 3 that you meet dies by the bad guy dips her in just a vat of boiling oil and lays her on Bond's bed, which is a nod to Goldfinger.
Yeah, being painted totally in gold.
Speaking of nods to Bond, I mean, I don't really think I would have thought of that about Deadpool before, but now that you say it, it's kind of funny in the sense of the opening of the woman from the previous movie dying and him having that breakdown and then credits. And opening credits, and it's kind of like that a Bond format, I would imagine, right? I mean, especially like they certainly did that with Austin Powers, the second one.
Yeah,
like immediately doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I haven't seen that one in so long.
I like that movie.
I like all the. Well, I appreciate them now. The second one is the best Austin Powers movie for me. Mm. But the first one I just remember I was like, I hate Austin Powers is not funny, and he's in like 90% of the movie. For me, I like Elizabeth Hurley, but her job is the straight man. But I don't love Austin. Yeah. And then I love Dr. Evil, and I love everything with Dr. Evil. And in the second movie, I was just like, am I screwy? Is Austin genuinely funny in this for all of it? And anyway,
I think Heather Graham helped.
Yeah, which is weird because Elizabeth Hurley was a good straight man for him. It's just I don't know what it was. Now it's like Toy Story. I don't like the first Toy Story.
They swap it. So Austin was kind of the straight man, and she was the one that was like, "Hey, let's have sex." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Willing. So now he's like, got all the reactions.
I haven't got much time, babe, or whatever. I'm not. Yeah. I'm a weird cat though with some of those movies. God, what else? So in Deadpool 2, there's that, and so they kill her off, and they do the narration, which is very common.
The good part that I liked was the opening sequence where it was like, what the fuck? Like, produced by, did they just kill her?
Yes. Yeah.
Someone didn't want to share credit. I thought that was really cute.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is I'm wondering how much more of those they can do. And, okay, and this kind of goes into if they do a third one. They didn't tease a third one, which I wonder if that was like, I think they put all their bets in the first movie going, if we go for broke, we're going to get cable. Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, we went for broke. And it's like, who
do we do now?
Who do we do now? And I just think it's like, let's not hedge our bets because we also got to contend with these other things.
Yeah.
And
I think that that could be a good sign that maybe it's going to be integrated a little bit more into the mainstream Fox, or maybe they're going to have... Maybe they're holding out for some possible traction with
that
Marvel proper.
Never be integrated to anything. Yeah. I hate to say that, but...
Certainly, one of the good things about Deadpool in particular is that they can do pretty much whatever they want because they aren't trying to affect the other parts of continuity. But at the same time, this I think could bring up a lot. I mean, could improve a lot of other properties if they were able. I mean, maybe it could be an X-Force movie. Maybe it could be
the bringing in of at Casa Loma.
Yeah,
where they were like shutting the door really carefully, and they had everybody like Beast and Xavier and.
Oh, my wife did not get that joke because she doesn't. She hasn't seen any. She hasn't seen any of the X-Men. She only seen Days of Future Past, and she didn't get it because she's like.
Well, you wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping that would be like a gateway movie into. I'm intrigued to see that one. She's like, I'm kind of like, I like Wolverine, and I was just like. Oh, okay. And then we watched the Wolverine, and she's like, "I'm still a little confused with what's going on, but I like Wolverine."
She would be, yeah.
And then we watched Logan, and she's like, "That was good, but it's really gory."
I didn't need to see Logan.
You needed to see it.
I needed to see it, but I don't want to see it again ever.
Is it one of those that's so depressing?
Depressing.
See, I love that movie a lot. It's probably there somewhere.
But that's my point. Is that even Deadpool makes the reference to it that Logan rode the coattails of the R rating that made possible, and I think that if you could start to make the other things a little edgier as well, it could.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if Ryan Reynolds became the champion of the Fox MCU. I would be okay with that, but there's the other problem is that they have so many things have been off kilter, and it's almost like Spider-Man. Fox is like they treat the X-Men property like Spider-Man, which is they're constantly just throwing stuff out there. Yeah. Like Deadpool to me is and some of the X-Men are the only consistent. I feel Deadpool is the only consistent franchise that like in my mind makes complete and total sense.
Right.
And does it help if you've seen the other ones? Yes, but.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, and God willing, would you want to? Well, I mean,
I guess you really couldn't. I mean, it's. I guess even with Deadpool's appearances and other things, I'm thinking comic-wise, it would throw things off. It's supposed to be like more of a special issue for him to be in there to
and that's
make fun of things. And,
well, I mean, if they could use that as a way to reset things, then sure. But I feel like, and I don't necessarily think it's Simon Kelberg, the guy who runs the Fox MCU. Kinda, and he wasn't always running it, but I think kind of took over. I don't necessarily blame him. I blame the taskmaster. It's like Spider-Man. That didn't make enough money. Let's reboot the fucking thing and let's keep doing it. And it's the same way with X-Men.
Yeah.
I love the X-Men, and I hope that this current iteration
crop of
actors can actually pull it off and pull it through. I mean.
They gave us a real juggernaut for God's sakes.
Oh my gosh!
Like 1 year. I mean, granted,
you got to be that big to do it.
His version, the first version in X3 was one of the few highlights of that movie for me. And granted, it's just and that's more the line. And I forget the actor's name. He was in Gallivant.
Vinnie Jones?
Vinnie Jones. Yeah. I mean, look, it's like Kingpin.
He needs to be big.
He needs to be big, and was it Michael Clark Duncan? I thought was a very good Kingpin. The dude's imposing.
Yeah.
I mean, the sad thing is, if you know anything about him in real life, he's like a pussycat. He's a super nice guy. But I mean, I thought he did a good job as Kingpin. And like when he picked up Ben Affleck, who's a tall dude too, I was like, dear Jesus, that's like reading the old Spider-Man books, and he would do that to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it's still, you still need to be like comic book big, like actually bigger than life.
Oh no, I agree. It's like Thing. Like matter of fact, I say this always. If they ever redo the Thing, Michael Chiklis was great as the Thing. They just need to give him the mocap suit.
Yeah.
And let him do that because I feel iffy on Ion Gufford as Mr. Fantastic. I feel like he'd probably get John Krasinski, and he would be a way better. No offense, Mr. Gufford.
Of all people, why John Krasinski? I don't know. That's
he's the one that's being banded about right now, and he said he would love to do it.
I think he'd look good at it.
Yeah, because he felt kind of he was sad that he actually didn't get Captain America, but he's like, my buddy Chris is also super fantastic as Captain America, but I now really want to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
and I was
even
just
better.
And he constantly, I think, retweets occasionally people doing fan drawings of him where they gray out his whatever, and he's just like, look, I'm Mr. Fantastic in this drawing. I was like, ooh, that would be good. So good. That would still be so cool. So I don't necessarily blame the leadership over there. They're trying to make the best what they can do because it's a money train.
They just need to bite the bullet and let Disney buy them.
Oh my God! Did you hear the cash offer? Universal, NBC Universal, Comcast is giving them a cash offer for Fox. For Fox, which might derail the entire Disney deal.
Oh shit!
Well, here's the thing. Eric told me this, and he's like, "Look, you have no idea that when that happens, so many people are going to be out of jobs."
Wait, can you back that up? I'm a little confused.
Yeah, sure.
Who is offering to do what?
So Disney and Fox are in the deal right now. You've probably heard that. So Comcast, aka GE / NBC Universal, because they're all, and kind of DreamWorks in that regard. They put down not a bank offer, which is like million. They put they're offering a cash offer for 20th Century Fox, and so they're disrupting.
So
the
they're trying to steal it away from us. Right?
Yeah.
And that was about a week ago, and it's been kind of silent, which is usually not a good sign. I hope Disney will just put down way more money so they can just fucking.
I mean, they just need to take it in, and money speaks, and they have a lot. And Disney has a shit ton of money. They got most of Marvel, and they got most of Star Wars. So it's like, come on, guys.
Now, if only they could just murder Sony and just destroy the Venom movie. Oh. I'm sorry.
Well, I hear Tom Holland is rumored to be in it. So
what? Okay.
It's rumored. It's only rumored.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that's about as much as I would have wanted to know one way or the other. Like, at least the possibility.
He might or might not.
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah.
And now I know we talked about this before we started recording. So did you see at least the clip of him as Venom, where he's like, "We are Venom"?
I avoided that like the plague. I've seen it. I've seen like maybe like a tiny little flash of like the Venom face, and I was like, that looks pretty good, and just I don't want to know.
There's a
else.
part of me that's like, it looks good, but it's like you need Spider-Man in there, and if the rumor is that he visited the set and not did anything else, because I remember that was the big thing, is that Andrew Garfield visited the set of Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, and people were losing their goddamn minds. He's like, no, he actually just used that as leverage to visit the film set and go, this is cool. And we were all sad about it.
You reminded me that I was actually talking to another friend, Mike Durst, who was a guest on Marianne's Macabre Movie Review a couple of times. Maybe, I don't know, a few weeks ago, probably right after we saw Infinity War. And talking about Venom thing, just like that. I think I would be excited to have a Venom of anything that looks better. But I mean, if it's not like directly as a result of the symbiote having been on Spider-Man at some point, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would you do that?
And that's really the thing that throws me off.
Why would he look anything like Spider-Man or anything like that? Because that's the whole point. He would have to look like
he has to do. I have a feeling he has to do a cameo in it.
Something like to even see like a quick reference at the beginning. Oh, by the way, this thing was on Spider-Man at some point. Fine, done.
So are we feeling it's going to be Eddie Brock? It's Tom Hardy, so it's got to be Eddie Brock.
It is Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Right. I mean,
they're doing the Lethal Protector storyline, which right there gives me some bonus points on that. But like, it's all tied to Spidey. Like, they even have I think perfect casting for his wife, Michelle Williams. She looks exactly like Anne did in 375 of Amazing Spider-Man, which is, matter of fact, it's my favorite moment. Like, I never seen he gets the shit kicked out of him and he kidnaps Peter's parents. And to try, I was like, you come down here and face me in mano a mano so I can kill you, and then I'll let your parents go.
Peter Parker's parents?
Yeah.
When they already
alternate.
They ended up being clones. It led to the clone conspiracy, actually, which is where Ben Reilly showed up from.
Yeah.
And so the parents showed up for like 2 years. And granted, this is all drawn by Mark Bagley, by the way, who did Ultimate Spider-Man. So it looks really cool. And I remember they go to, I think, Coney Island, and it starts to snow. And Spidey goes down and fights him. And by the end of it, Peter goes to Anne, his ex-wife, and is like, look, you can get through to Eddie. Eddie is actually, he's saving people now. Ever since Carnage, he's doing good things. It's just he did this bad thing because he still thinks I'm evil, and I'm really not evil. It's just that we got into wrong mix-ups, and it comes off that way. And I
love that. And it is being hyped as a horror film, so we are totally covering it on Marianne's Macabre movie review.
So Anne shows up, and their fight. And I remember it's the thing that brutally surprised me was he just grabs Spider-Man's head and just lets the symbiote wrap around, and he just starts to suffocate him, and he just starts doing like the Hulk smash thing where he just like slams him and stuff, and he hits the Ferris wheel, not thinking of it, it's collateral damage, and it starts to fall as Anne shows up. And that's when I think the Fantastic Four show up and start blasting Venom and killing the symbiote. Symbiote, not symbiote, which drove me crazy in the trailer. No, I know. You probably heard that and you probably went, oh, God.
No, I didn't, but that's just now hearing that.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not upset you told me that. I'm reacting to the fact that they would mispronounce it.
I know. And it's Jenny Slate, too, so you're just like, is that Jenny Slate's fault? Is that her character problem? Because Jenny Slate's a little kooky. I love her. She's a little different, has her own drum beat. So I was like, is that her choice? And they just left it in. But and then Spider-Man is a full capacity enough, barely breathing, that he does the whole hold the thing and saves his ex-wife. And Venom's just like, if you can do that, then, and he's in Eddie Brock mode, and it's my favorite panel. He just turns on, he's like full Venom, like it comes over, and he's like, let's make a deal. And he's like, I leave town never to come back, and I don't fuck with you anymore. But you stop putting people in danger, like your poor parents and Mary Jane, because they were married at the time. Because he caught up, he would just watch them for like issues, and just like, everything you do leads to danger to your family, and you're the problem, not them. And I was like, interesting.
I on my soapbox when it comes to superheroes, a lot of them don't really care about the collateral damage, and that really bothers me. Like, there have been a few issues where the Flash has said, I'm leading them out of town. Like the Justice League movie, or no, it was Batman versus Superman. Wonder Woman asked, why did you bring him back into town? Like, come on, guys.
By the way, I've not seen Justice League yet, but there is a part, someone sent me the clip of the final fight, and I thought it was kind of boring, so I didn't finish it. But the clip that made me super happy was Superman shows up and saves Batman ass, and he just goes, wait a second, and they zoom in on the ear, and all of a sudden you just hear people crying out. He's like, civilians, I'll be right back. And I'm like, oh, Superman showed up. Because if this was Man of Steel or Batman Superman, he let those people die. And I was so happy. So now I'm actually super excited to watch the movie.
The Flash gets to save some people too. And I thought I love it when the Flash does Flash stuff.
Have you read the Greg Capullo run?
Which one
of the Flash?
Most recent?
Last 5 years, maybe. It was before Greg Capullo did Batman with Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Or not Zack Snyder. Is it? Something Snyder.
Yeah. I have all the Flash, so yeah.
I just remember like the last part of his run ends with him getting a phone call on an airplane, and he quickly opens the door and shuts it and then zooms off through the clouds. Because he's going so fast at the speed of light, he can slowly make his way down perfectly safe and sound. And I was like, because he's like, what's the one thing you get to do that you haven't drawn yet? You get to end the last few pages. So he's like, I'm going to do that. Capullo did. And I was like, that's so cool. And it makes him want to read Flash. So Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. Deadpool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well,
but these are all, but here's the thing is,
you're really dark. Aren't you from the DC universe?
Oh my God. And that was
the hopeful main topic.
And also he like slaps Cable in the face, Brolin in the face. He's like, easy there, Thanos.
Oh, yeah,
that was not a trailer shot or a commercial shot. That's actually in the movie, because that's okay. Now, before we get too further into Deadpool, quick things. Yes or no? If you caught these cameos, did you catch who voiced the Juggernaut? Ryan Reynolds.
What?
Yeah.
You catch it like in the credits, you mean, or something?
Kinda. Yeah. Actually, it says the Juggernaut as himself, but later down the line it says mocap and voice of the Juggernaut provided by Ryan Reynolds.
Nice.
Like, which I was like, that's crazy cool. It probably saved him some money too. I wonder if because he loves it enough, he would probably go like, I will take no money to just do that because it needs to be done.
Oh, certainly.
I mean, they had to have actors for it anyway because they always say, well, here, this guy's totally CGI. It was like, well, we know he's not totally. I mean, Colossus has. I love him too.
He was so. I don't remember them being friends in the comic as much. Like, I
don't know.
It's just one of those things for the movie. I think
that's a section of.
I mean, they don't even have a sister in it.
There are sections of Deadpool that I hadn't read. Certainly, I mean, I haven't read like really any of the Deadpool Cable stuff. It was mostly just like all the classic Deadpool volumes and some of the.
Did you read X Factor or X Force?
I've been trying to get some of that and get into it, but it's hard to actually.
Because when I remember reading it, he wasn't Deadpool. He's just literally he's the merc with the mouth, as in he doesn't shut up.
Right.
That's all. He's like Spider-Man. He talks down to you until you make a mistake. Which with Cable, it would take half the issue, but he would give him enough that Deadpool could escape. But also, I will say too, I think it's issue 5 or 6 of X Force. There's a 2-issue storyline that ties into X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man where Spider-Man, the Juggernaut, it's a whole storyline. And the whole issue goes from like, a normal comic book where it goes like this way and you have to like a calendar.
Oh, wow.
Like a Playboy spread. You have to open it up to read the whole issue.
Nice.
And by the way, can I also say that Jim Lee gave it good remarks in his Twitter feed, but they made a really great and horrible Jim Lee joke, which is like, when he's like, how is luck? He's still bitching about Domino's power.
Yes.
No, see, I thought that was a Liefeld joke, actually.
Was it Rob Liefeld?
Yeah, Rob Liefeld.
I thought Jim Lee was the one who drew the tiny feet.
I'm pretty sure that they
I think you might be
make
right.
fun of Rob Liefeld about not being able to draw.
But didn't he also the one that drew Domino first?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see this, like the whole era of X-Men where, like the old drawings of Deadpool, the way that he was introduced when he was still all serious and just kind of like the guy who showed up trying to kill someone in X-Force. I think that's how he was introduced. So I apologize. It's a nice 1-2 punch to Liefeld because I think so.
Because there's that really horrible drawing. Because here's the thing, I read X-Force because my babysitter's kid, who I was good friends with, it pretty much is just I was hanging out with their house every day. But they were so good for them. They were making money. No offense, I love you guys, but Craig he collected every issue of X-Force and I would read it. And I remember that, Deadpool would occasionally show up, but Domino, like, their feet were just so tiny. Like, big old muscular bodies, big bazungas and all that, and big pectoral chest. Little tiny feet.
Yeah, they do this sort of thing like a foreshortening kind of effect that they're trying to force into it so that, the trail off.
Well, like, for example, in that issue, Boom Boom, there's a shot where she's up on a full page and she's just standing there. There's no perspective. It's just head on looking at her. And again, boom head, boom body, boom torso, boom leg, little tiny feet. By the way, also, I think it's from early X-Force days, that shot of Cable jumping out of the car is such a comic book pose. I squealed it in the theater because it was so beautiful. So other cameos. Did you catch Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
And Alan Tudyk.
I don't think so.
Where?
They were the good old boys drinking.
What? Oh my God! I never would.
Oh my gosh!
Matt Damon was the big fat one that got zapped, I think, first, and then Alan Tudyk was, Alan Tudyk was the one on the right? They got zapped first, and the other one, he's like, "What the hell?" And that was Matt Damon. I didn't know that.
Never would have noticed that.
And then I feel like there was one other. Oh, Stanley is in the movie.
Oh.
He's in a billboard, and he's also he's one of the statues that he knocks down when he's driving the X-Wheelchair. I feel so horrible saying that. He's
the Xavier's wheelchair.
Yeah. I feel like I'm watching. I was like, this is so bad. But and of course the X-Men from Days of Future Past, which
and
Brad Pitt.
And Brad Pitt was
as the Vanisher.
Now, apparently he was close to do Cable, but he couldn't do it for scheduling purposes. And so he's like, but I really. Cable. Honestly, I'm glad that he didn't get it. Josh Brolin was really good.
Josh Brolin was the best.
Good. And by the way, I don't like how he calls fans fanatics. Have you seen any of his... Every time he talks about fans, he's like, my brother's one, so I know all about them. The fanatics are insane. I was like, oh, don't call us that. That's a little bad. Mr. Dictionary term. But he's such a wonderful... good guy, whatever.
Oh, no, I've always loved Cable as the good guy, like...
And the fact that they made his daughter Hope.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Which was interesting, but I really loved it. And it sets it up, too, that Hope can come back and if they ever, God willing, ever do House of M, she would be the... But at that point, then, hopefully they could do X-Men versus Avengers. Which that's kind of the whole... But yeah, so we got some of the quick cameos out of the way. I really didn't have a problem with anything in the movie except for Shatterstar dying and killing Marianne Baraka, his girlfriend. That was really the only thing that irked me. But again, though, the whole time I'm like kind of laughing through it because it's genuinely funny. And then they point out like the credits, it's like, I don't believe they just killed her. And you're just like, God damn it, that's funny. Yeah. And then Shatterstar, maybe he wasn't that good at everything after all. God damn it. Yeah. And the only one he was super concerned about was Peter or David, whatever his name is. Like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. I liked his rant about luck. While Domino is doing all the things that is just like everything is perfect.
Yeah.
Everything is cinematic.
Yeah, it's not very cinematic.
And then she's like, I'm in. And he's like, wait, what? How are you in?
I really like what they did with her look, too, in terms of how it looked like more of a birthmark kind of thing. I really like that because I remember when the original Domino looks like a kabuki thing. I don't know.
And just like a black eye for her.
Yeah.
And like, a constant black eye where I think the skin condition looked better.
Yeah. And
because she had it on her hands, too, I noticed.
Oh,
yeah. Now, did you guys look away during the Basic Instinct?
Nope.
You did not? Oh, I'm so sorry. I kind of looked away. I saw a little bit of it, but I was like, oh, God.
I think it was very subtle. I mean, as far as
it's a little tiny kid penis. That's all it was.
I know, but I felt dirty watching it because it's CGI, but it's a little tiny. But can I also feel like maybe they were watching Rick and Morty? And they did the whole bit where it's like, I'm Mr. Baby. What was it? It's like an adult body, little baby feet, Detective Baby Feet. Yeah. And but still, it was just really goddamn funny. He's like, oh look, he's just walking over there, and they do the nice little ass shot, which they usually do for all little babies walking.
What was it? The shirt dicking it,
shirt cocking.
Shirt cocking it.
Shirt cocking.
That's the worst part.
Now, you've read Deadpool probably more than I have. I've read things here and there. I thought it was a reference to it. You might have did you think that they did a reference to the gray costume at the very end? Where he's
definitely
pure. Okay.
That's the X-Force costume. Sorry, Keith.
No, I mean, well, that's actually the part, or I never, as I said, never really got to see Deadpool and X-Force, except for, obviously that they, in the highlights, they'll show you, here's the origin, or here's this, but I'd gotten like the earlier stuff for X-Force, like when they first came together with Cable, and he was rescuing the mutants that had gone astray, etc. But they hadn't really gotten to the core stuff, which I hope we get to eventually.
I mean, let's be honest. I really hope they get to. I hope they do Strife, but I don't know how they would do that. At that point, you would have Strife is technically Cable from another universe, who's the bad guy. Because Cable got hit by like some virus or whatever. That's why they might do something different, which is fine. But he got eaten up, and so in one universe they sacrificed the baby to the virus or something, so it wouldn't die, and it only ate half of his body, and that's why Scott and Jean felt really bad about it or whatever. I don't know. It's really bizarre. And then there's another tangent universe where the baby was never sacrificed, but the virus took over and killed half of everyone anyway.
So the baby grew up. Scott and Jean sacrificed them.
It might have been Strife. It was Madeline disguised as Jean and Scott's baby, while Cable was actually Jean and Scott's baby. It's Nathan Gray, Nathan Summers, no matter what, but it's just Nathan as Cable or Nathan as Strife. But the whole thing is that, which is kind of tragic, is that Cable's fighting himself the whole time. He doesn't know it, and
it's interesting that hasn't come up, or that didn't come up in the movie, like who he was as far as.
Yeah, not really, but I mean, he's Cable, but again, Deadpool doesn't take itself too seriously, but that's the thing though too. It kind of did. It's like I'm watching him die at the end, Deadpool. And I'm watching Wade die, and I'm going like, this is sad, but because they're making a joke of it, I'm not tearing up.
Yeah.
And then the moment where he goes to heaven and he sees his girlfriend, his fiancée wife, I was just like, okay, I'm not doing good right now.
Yeah, I was pretty upset with that one.
And then they showed the X-Force team there, and I'm just like, oh, no.
Your family needs you. Yeah. And I was like, oh,
God damn it. Yeah. And then he's just like, And then
it shows Cable doing his thing. tucking the little thing there.
Well, I was like, what is he doing? I thought it was like I usually am good at picking up stuff like that, but I was just like, it made sense in retrospect because they kept bringing up the token that was lead, but I didn't pick up, like, I thought he was just going like, tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that.
Hitting the peck kind of thing. I was like, oh, really, bro? That's your touching
tuck. I saw the tuck. That's how I knew.
I did not see the tuck.
I did not. I just felt it was like the bro padding.
Because he went like this. And I was like, put the token there.
Cool. Okay.
Just a couple of my favorite things I just started thinking of. Since you mentioned the X-Force costume nod, which it probably was. Certainly when he was the trainee, and he had the big yellow and black jersey. Reminded me of
the crop top.
It was a crop top too.
Reminded me of the bit. I think it was around the Dark Avengers era or something like that, or something where God, I can't remember what the main storyline was called. Anyway, he was campaigning to join the X-Men when Scott was leading it, and so he dressed up in the big yellow and
black.
Yeah, yellow and black.
That's so I didn't know
X-Men
that he did
costume.
that. It wouldn't surprise me, but
I think it even said something like trainee or some other kind of thing in the back where and it was amazing. You know, he's go and try to do all these things in the X-Men's name.
Yeah,
on TV, and
I mean, they even got like a nice little nod. Like, here's the thing too. Sometimes these movies, the dialogue can be super bad. No matter who performs it, it's super bad. But like, and there's a few times where I was like, in any other hands, I feel like the girl who played Domino, she did, like, because the whole thing, it's like, I guess you can go home again. Like, it said with such, like, fine line of bravado, like cheesy bravado, but also seriousness. That I was like, damn, this is all coming together. And they make a joke about it too. She's like, wow, this is all coming together perfectly.
Yeah.
I guess I am really lucky that it's all coming home again. I get to beat the shit out of all the people who tortured me as a kid. And I was like, in someone else's hands, I don't think it would have been, everyone did such a good job acting.
Yeah, Zazie was really good in her role.
I really am looking forward to more. By the way, I also like the weird, again, I thought was subtly emotional, like teenage... Negasonic teenage warhead.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful for me to take a drink. No, like, legitimately, I really like, it's like, almost like an anti-Jubilee for Deadpool, which I really like, which is just like, hey... You and I, we're best friends, fuckface. Oh, fuck you. And but there's still like a weird kind of like and the weird hello Yukio was so bizarre.
So cute.
But it was so right. It was, but I was like,
hi Wade.
But I was waiting for it to go a different direction, and it just didn't. And it was like that in itself is super great because he always subverts your expectation.
Yeah. Hi Yukio.
Yeah. Hi Yukio. And he does it almost every time, except for there. He's just like, hello, goodbye, Yukio. I was like,
so cute.
No, he just got the okay. That's the end of it. That's so good.
We did something really bad, didn't we?
Yes. What else? You have a few other moments too.
Well, one of my favorite things was during the X-Force audition. I guess they weren't calling it X-Force yet, but the auditions, they actually seem to have like the actor headshots.
Yes, that was
for
so
everybody,
cute.
And. Which is why they didn't really look like heroes necessarily, and just the black and white photos, and even for Peter, probably one of his old actor headshots. He was like, "What? Am I being catfished here?"
Okay, so I thought something of this, and I'm not thinking until just now as you said this. Mm-hmm. If you noticed, everyone but Domino gets a knife through the head.
Yeah.
Which means that they died.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't now get that until just now, and it makes me also sad again that they killed Shatterstar.
I never really knew much about him. Was he in like what the Canadian one, or was he in?
He survived. No, he was actually in X-Force, and I just remember it was a weird pairing. I think he got saved by the X-Men from Mojo World, and they didn't know what to do with him.
Right, he did mention he was from Mojo World.
And he did, which I was like, Mojo World, you said it out loud? And
I would love,
Well, and the fact that he even did Juggernaut right. Like, my father, who, as he gets older, gets a little bit more conservative, sadly, like, he watched Deadpool on FX. Now, granted, it's cut up, but he's just like, this is not my movie. And I was like, you love Lethal Weapon, where they just drop F-bombs all the time. Yeah. And it's actually almost kind of worse. Like, Deadpool's making fun of that and superheroes. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't. It was just like some of it. I kind of got what they were going for, and it's kind of funny, but it's way too vulgar. It's such a vulgar, horrible movie, and I was like, okay.
Well,
but then he was watching trailers for the second one, and he's just like, but it looks funny. And I was like,
because it is funny.
No, I know. So, but I do wonder if because my dad is Juggernaut's a classic character. Mm-hmm. And it's like what we were saying earlier. You have to do him right. You have to have him. It's like the Hulk. You have to have him be CGI. You can't put Michael Chiklis in it. Those are all characters that have to be big guys.
Big, yeah.
Now, I will say, too, I don't think it was in the movie. It was only in the trailer. But if you watch the trailer now, there's a shot where I think they show him, like, Colossus, like, hitting something metal, like, punching him in the face. And it's slow-mo. It's not... And it looks like his hand's starting to get bent. And
So was Juggernaut in the trailers?
No. That's the only nod, apparently, in the trailer. No, you don't see it. You just see Colossus punching someone, and that's someone I think said that might be Juggernaut. But I was like, but there's no other clue about it, so I don't believe that. And
I couldn't remember why his name sounded so familiar. And
because Black Tom always hangs out with Juggernaut.
Man.
But wasn't Black Tom? So this is the other thing that kind of irked me. Oh, no, you're good. Wasn't Black Tom also the character that Kevin Bacon played in the first X-Men First Class movie? The powers, whatever, he can control the power. He's part of the Hellfire Club.
I don't remember because I don't remember like who.
I'll look it up really quick because I don't think so.
Black Tom was probably like a Wikipedia reference for me or some vague maybe issue
he was
where
one
I
of
might have seen him in some.
I thought Black
appearance.
Tom was part of the Hellfire Club and he was a relation to Xavier, or no.
Juggernaut is a
relation
like
to,
a
but I thought there was
or
a second relation to Xavier where I thought it was. Yeah, because I thought Juggernaut was like a stepbrother.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon is Sebastian Shaw.
Shaw. Never mind.
Well, Legion was sort of in X3 or was he in X2?
X2 is the boy who's like on the drip. You mean?
Yeah, there's a guy. There's a boy in a wheelchair. And
one eye's this other.
So.
That no, you're right. That is. But the thing is, their twist was that Legion was technically. Oh God, I can't think of his name. The bad guy's child and not Xavier's.
Oh, I thought.
No, you're right. Again, this is the problem with the X-Men movies. This is why I'm saying. And again, they're trying to do what's best and tell a relevant story, and so they're just cherry picking because there's so many things. What they think is
best. Yes, that's
which is it's good and bad.
Yeah.
Like in terms of X2 is a really good movie, but if you look at it like in terms of comic bookness, in terms of like if that is Legion, which I took it as being Legion, it's just that Legion. As I knew it in the comic books later, kind of actually because of X2, I was like, oh wait, Legion's the son of Xavier. What? What? But that's kind of Xavier, right? And that's the problem I have with all the X movies. I enjoy them. That's why Deadpool, I think, gets a pass from that for the most part, except for when they kill Shatterstar.
The CGI Juggernaut, that doesn't usually bother me, but this was like one of the first times I've ever really noticed it being a little clunky when it was just Juggernaut like walking upstairs or doing things sort of in the distance. Yeah. It looked a little weird.
It looked a little ghosty.
Once he was actually battling Colossus, it looked great as far as I could tell. But
money shots.
Yeah. It was the random scenes where it was like,
Even the first time you see the hands reach around, and I was like, Juggernaut, like that, and I already knew kind of what was going on. By the way, my wife really laughed hard and long over the bit where he looks at him. He's like, ominous foreshadowing. That's not happening right now. Yeah. And she died laughing, and I was just like, "That's the one that really gets you here."
No, that is what Deadpool is about for me. Doing things like that kind of
the fourth wall breaking.
No, and I love that too. Like, there's a Spider-Man issue where he opens up the Spider-Man book in a club, and he's just like, "Hi, I'm Deadpool," and then the other two narrators kick in that he's fighting with, and all of a sudden, at some point, he just goes, "By the way, if you're wondering why I'm doing this club celebrating, well." We'll get to that on page 4. And they're on page 2. And then he's like, oh, you finally caught up. Welcome. This is page 4. And I'm just like, and and that's the first time I really read Deadpool as the Deadpool is now. And I was like, that's great.
That's probably the Deadpool I've read the least of, other than obviously the Cable stuff. And yeah, that is generally a lot funnier than where he came from. And that's, like most of the span before that, there wasn't that.
Especially not in the Marvel universe. Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like someone one day the Creeper, I don't think the Creeper is a huge presence in the DC universe. He's like a... Well, no, that's technically what Freakazoid was supposed to be, was the Creeper.
That makes a lot of sense.
And when Steven Spielberg's like, but I want it to be funnier, Bruce Timm's like, look, Steven, I will do anything for you, but I don't want to do something that I don't think I can do well. And so we're going to walk off the project. But it's like, but we've already sold the show. So then they brought the guys from Animaniacs in to do Freakazoid. And then Bruce Timm was just like, well, if they're going to do our Freakazoid, we're just going to do the Creeper and Batman Superman Adventures. And they did, and it's an okay episode, but I'm kind of glad they didn't do Freakazoid because but apparently the Creeper is kind of a fourth wall breaking character.
Yeah.
And I think in the 90s they tried to make, because Deadpool was serious Deadpool, there was a character called Slapstick. I only knew of him because I had a Marvel trading card. He was a gigantic, he looked like a fucking Muppet, like a big smiley face, big cartoon eyes. And some kid, 13-year-old kid, turns into this cartoon character.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like Sleepwalker. It's like when he's asleep or whatever, this alien figure comes out and that's Slapstick.
Okay.
Or something. Yeah, it's something like that. But he breaks the fourth wall and this and that. And I finally read an issue. It wasn't that funny. But Deadpool, I'm kind of glad they made Deadpool that character. And
yeah, definitely.
They can do that stuff.
The most fourth wall breaking thing I've seen so far, I actually read like the first few issues of Gwenpool not too long ago.
Oh, how was Gwenpool, by the way?
I really enjoyed it. I need to read more at some point. But,
I wasn't super happy that they brought Gwen back from another universe, Spider-Gwen.
But that's not who it is.
It's not?
That's what's interesting. It's not her. It's somebody we don't really know exactly. Her origin is essentially that she just showed up from another universe and has read all the comics and that's her superpower is essentially knowing the fourth wall. And
okay,
I just
that's awesome. I just would have
knowing
never
all the characters from outside of it, and so she has all this classified information. People are like, why the hell do you know this?
That's kind of cool. Well, I read Spider-Verse, and Gwenpool was neat, or not Gwenpool, but Spider-Gwen, and then like that started this whole. Which I'm glad we do need more female characters, but it started this weird trend of like it's not just Spider-Gwen, it's Gwenpool. I think Gwen Men or something. There's like they did a whole thing of like Gwen something spinoffs. And I was like, okay, are you going to do Uncle Ben next? That's a little weird.
Uncle Gwen.
Uncle Gwen. Oh, yeah. I saw a weird mix-up today. I was watching DuckTales, and they did Scrooge McDuck and Huey, and they called it Screwy. Like, go Team Screwy, hashtag Screwy. It was Webigail, because they're playing golf together on teams. And she's like, go Screwy, go Screwy. I was like, what? What's going on? I feel like that. You could possibly get into dangerous territory with Gwen and Uncle Ben and all that stuff. Any other concerns with the movie, though? Because, I mean, it was just a funny movie. And it wasn't trying to do anything else with it, really. I just... killing off the female lead.
I'm like, able to enjoy it more now that I'm kind of able to think through it.
Yeah.
At the time, it's... As I said, it gets a little... I'm distracted with trying to think, okay, do I like this? Do I think this is good enough? How are people going to take this movie? Or how, does this detail the way that it should be? That kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing, too. I guess this is the important thing. Would you go see it again in theaters, full price?
I don't know. Typically, I don't do that unless there's an extenuating circumstances. I just like to. I like to get it. The perfect time and begin.
Would you then buy it on DVD?
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
That's what I anticipate doing. Is I'm going to go see it once and then just be able to kind of background it again later.
See both things twice.
Well, just the way being how schedules work out, I sometimes will see them. If it's a big movie like this, I don't know if my dad will go see it. I think he would enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe I used to think he would enjoy it, but like for example, if it was Infinity War, I'd see it with myself and Sarah, and then I'd see it again with my mom and dad. And sometimes we try to, and so and the thing is too is great is that my wife will see it with me a second time, but it's just a matter of circumstances where I saw it with my mom and dad by myself because I only got to see it during the day because at the time I was working at nights. And that was the only time I could see it was the very next day. So I saw it Thursday night, Friday during the morning. Very bad. Which, I mean, enjoyed it, but it was still it was emotional wreck still.
Yeah, no,
and I couldn't tell my parents what was going on. I was just like, I was like, oh, God. And then by the time I saw it a week later with her sister, my wife's sister, then the news came out what James Gunn's last words were for Groot, which were heartbreaking.
What were they?
Dad.
I can't remember where I heard that.
Oh,
right?
To Rocket?
Yeah. Right? I know. And so then we're watching that, and I was like, I'm doing better this time. But so I technically, and of course the joke is with my wife, which clever to her, touche, was funny, was, did you catch this one part where they did that? And this is after the second time I've already seen it. Because, again, I also didn't see my wife a lot because of my work schedule. So, like, Friday night was a big deal to see my wife. And she was just like, I don't know. I only saw it once, and I was just, and that was. So then when we saw it the second time, her second time, my third, she's like, "Well, I don't know. I only saw it 2 times." I was just like, "Damn it! I'll never win this. But well, I will say though too, she did enjoy it, and because she's like, it's a little vulgar for me, and it's a little, it's more gory.
Back to Deadpool now, or
yeah, sorry, Deadpool. Yeah. But she really enjoyed it, and that to me is a good sign. So I wouldn't mind seeing it again. The part of me doesn't want to pay full price though. Well, we usually go to, again, this is weird Columbus talk. There's a theater here, not Rave, but Marcus. They do $2. I like the Lennox.
Not anymore.
Or not $2. Sorry, the $5. It's not $5.
No, not Crosswoods, but
yeah, Crosswoods. It's not Rave. I'm sorry. It's Marcus Theaters. Yeah, at Crosswoods.
Mill Run.
I thought
they switched. They're full price now.
No.
I'm trying to think of what.
That's right next to the Half Price Bookstore.
Carriage Place. That's what we usually call it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
That's
Mill Run.
Mill Run. Okay. I usually call it Carriage Place.
Yeah. Well, I knew it growing up as Mill Run, but as I've gotten older, it's Carriage Place. But it's a weird.
That's the name of the shopping center.
Right. It's like where we're at right now. Right down the road, it used to be like a Star Cineplex, which ended up being not Marcus, but whatever that Mill Run Cinemark. Yeah. And now it's an AMC, and every time I go by, I'm like, is it though? I'm not sure.
Oh, the one over there
here by Hilliard. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, weird Columbus talk again. But to me, though, it is important where you see the movie at, I would say. So, to me, opening weekend, Lennox usually has a good crowd.
Did you get the minifigure?
No. They were out.
See, Easton. That's more, I mean,
Easton.
it's probably one of the more expensive theaters in town, but that's, if I'm going to see it once, I want to see it in those conditions where it's...
You can have it.
Really?
Yep. Keith has one, so...
Yep. And I'll use that as the... By the way, for editors, take out this whole weird 3, 2, 1 part out. I just took a photo. And we'll begin in 3.
And we got a minifigure.
I got a minifigure. So thank you guys so much. This is adorable. And I will try to make this the cover on the website for gbgpodcast.com. No, that's so cool. Because I saw you post that, and I was just like... So I asked about it. And there was just like, no, we're sorry. We're out. But they have like a poster or something. And I was just like...
Drew a winning for, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not really... But I enjoy... How's the opening crowd at Easton, though? Are they really outgoing, or are they very...
There were so many people that wore Deadpool outfits. Yeah. I mean, just like shirts or something.
It seemed pretty reserved. It wasn't like... I think that... Honestly, I think taking that... need to wait in lines, and since everything's reserved, you don't really have to have people like rushing to get the best seat and stuff like that. And so there's not that.
At Lennox, you still have assigned seats though. Now that's the thing, is that it's the old school stadium seating, which was a bump up from the original theater seating, but now it's assigned, and it's a little bit better, but. Like, you still have to wait in line sometimes before you walk into the theater. Like, when we got there, the other theater down the hallway, which was non-IMAX for Deadpool 2, there was a huge-ass line for people there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're cleaning or not, but...
It could be that.
But the opening crowd, like, I feel like they laughed at everything. They whooped at certain parts.
So were you Saturday night? Or, excuse me.
I was Friday night, late Friday night.
We were kind of
Friday
late afternoon, 4 o'clock. So it was a pretty reserved kind of...
Well, never mind. That would be different then, I guess.
I would say probably if we had seen it on a Thursday night, there would have been a lot of people dressed up.
Yeah.
My personal trainer, when he always goes to the Lennox, and he goes Thursday night. Mm-hmm. And he said he was going as Bob Ross Deadpool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he did it at the anime convention, and just people were just like, can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? I mean, they just loved him.
Well, it's hysterical. Yeah. No, I tend to like Lennox just for that matter of fact, because my wife and I were sitting there, and this is why it's always important to watch movies sometimes depending on where you see it at. Like, we had a bunch of people walk by us a few times, which usually by the time we got there a little late. It's not, when we're in the middle, it doesn't happen as often, but it did, and her comment was, at Marcus and other places, there's huge aisles to walk in there.
Yeah.
And it kind of, and I'm like, no, I know, but the crowd
recliner seats is always hard at AMC. But we're usually in the middle, so we don't even have too many people walking in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because of that. Yeah. The ones where it's, I mean, while you're there, it's great because the leg room and the height and the stadium format makes it so no one's blocking your view. But there's no leg room once you've extended your feet.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're super leggy,
have to walk past through there, they have to.
Keith,
me, I have the same issue too. No, I'm with you. that's the one thing I don't love about it, but I'm more for the crowd thing. And so
I like the crowd.
Yeah. So like if the second time I see it, that's when I go, where do I like to go more? I like to go to the AMC reclining seats theaters or Marcus, which has the reclining seats there. And I enjoy that more because the crowd might not be as big into it. And my dad sometimes is just like, crowd, like, well, we saw Avengers Infinity War, like barely anyone laughed. In the first half. And
Infinity War
cried. They fucking cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the applause for people showing up at certain times.
We didn't get that.
I covered that in the podcast, Keith.
Yes. Yes, fine. Right. Yeah. Okay. The point is that it was kind of a good mix because it was a big theater.
It was a big theater, so it wasn't overwhelming.
But we still had the the reclining seat format, and it was just...
We were in Prime again, which I highly recommend.
Well, we were in Dolby this time for Deadpool, which is... There's a slight distinction for whatever reason.
If you remember, we actually were in line with the guy that had installed it behind us the last time. And I said...
I still can't remember
what's the difference between the two? And he says, I'll tell you a secret. I installed the same thing in both theaters. So, and he says, I installed the sound system. So I was like, okay, cool.
I think it has to do with sometimes just the size of the room in itself that you're in.
Yeah.
And, if you're in official Dolby, you also get the Dolby trailer, which is almost worth it just for that.
Well, is it like the old thing where it's just like the audience is now deaf and they go...
But it's longer they explain
That's not black. This is black.
Yeah. You thought you were seeing colors. And
now you're really seeing.
And here's your pinpoint accurate sound in the demonstration of here's this thing over here. This here's a little dot. This is where it's reflecting from.
That's cool.
It starts going around the theater very slowly, then it goes faster, and then it kind of goes up and over, and
you're blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it sounds just like it's doing that too.
So this is an old reference, and this nothing to do with Deadpool, so I apologize, but. Do you remember the old Pixar DVDs? And I think they still have them on there. They have them as extras where they show it's like the movie has been brought to you in THX, like Lucasfilm's like big sound system kind of, which is what Dolby is now or IMAX sound is now. And I just remember they did the little animation. They would do some weird little clip every single time.
And it would lead into the...
Yeah.
I love that so
and they would show it they would show it in the movie theaters, but the thing is it wasn't THX sound.
I know.
And so
it's batty.
I know. And so but people who've been to it before, I think because my one friend's friend at that point was kind of working for Pixar. And I think it was Cars.
Okay.
He just did something for shadowing real quick and then left the theater. And so he got to preview the movie, and that was one of the last ones they did it for. And he's just like, it's nice when you're actually in a theater that has THX sound because it's mind shattering. And I was like,
so
I'll never.
The reason
that.
I like it so much was there was this Sarah Brightman tour, the Harem tour that she did.
Okay.
Pitch black theater. They're calling her to the stage and everything. And it like spotlight hits, the THX is and when it hits the thing, spotlight hits on her, the wind is blowing, and she's like this, and I was just like,
That's awesome. Was that at Easton?
No, this is I actually went and saw a concert.
Oh wow!
With her,
related to theaters.
Awesome.
It's the THX sound is why it's.
Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, I got you. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
man,
she got to walk out to it. Or appear to it.
There are not many entrances that I feel are super cool live that you can do on stage. And the thing is, like, even if you love the band, you're just like, you guys just kind of walked out there. But that is fucking rad.
I was, so every time afterwards in a theater or at home when the THX thing was happening, I'd be like, I'm Sarah Brightman.
Now, I will say, and I'm trying to, I would love to, and I probably shouldn't admit this on a recorded thing, but I really want to get high. And during the IMAX 3D portion, they go, this is now an IMAX AMC. They go, countdown. And because it comes right at you.
Right at you.
And I just want to be like, what would this be like? Well, because I forget who it was. Was it Mulaney or somebody who just said, dude, sometimes I just go to the movies for that. Like, even if I know it's a bad movie, I wait till I go to like the early morning showing.
Yeah.
I get super high and I watch the thing and I was just like, oh yeah. Like I kind of want to...
Gotta go to Colorado to do it.
Yeah, for right now.
Yeah. Washington.
One day they might be able to. But outside of... did anyone else have any other critical complaints with Deadpool? Or I don't say, it's just... It's the comedy we need right now.
Yeah. It was. I liked the old lady. Thought she was
Blind Al. That is closer to their relationship in the first movie was, I would say. Certainly.
Yeah. I feel like the relationship. Oh, who is the taxi driver?
Depinder.
Yeah. Oh my God! We should probably point out he is a not silent, but like he's almost like the not as big MVP of this movie because he kills the dude at the end, which was great because that dude needed to fucking die.
He needed to die. I was like, at least Cable kill him? Can someone kill him?
I thought that's who Cable was going to kill at the end. He was going to point at Deadpool and then turn around and kill the guy, and then no, he shot him in the thing. That's what I thought the twist was going to be. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, oh no, he's going to go down and he's going to murder him and let Deadpool. And surprisingly, I didn't think Deadpool was not joking at the end. I thought he's like, no, we're done with the violence for today. We're done. Yeah, family's here. So you'll get karma later.
That was so good,
and I feel so alive.
Every time he had his one-liners were just mind blown. Yeah.
Oh, also the good for them for pointing out that "Papa, can you hear me?" and "I want to build a snowman" sound eerily alike. Yeah. Because the rest of
the night I kept doing it. I was like, Papa, do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah. And also, and his death scene was actually really funny.
I was like, he's not dead yet.
Yeah, what was the last thing he did say? Was it like, I want to build a snowman, right?
Yeah.
And then he passed away, yeah. I thought that was really, because everyone was turning to like, is this when he's going to, I was like, rule of threes. Yeah. Rule of threes.
My favorite was when they started to walk away and he's like, oh, and they're all like,
yeah.
Walk back.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm not done yet. Yes.
Dying's a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Also, I felt this was more of a reference to Star Wars, but where he had Domino pick her up and put her on her
back.
Oh, yes. Wow.
From Empire Strikes Back.
To Yoda.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear
I think C-3PO.
Yes.
But I didn't hear him make an actual reference to it. But he's just like, look, you're good for something after all. This is why it is. I was lucky that you were here. I guess your power does exist. And she's just carrying him. I was like, well, also, why didn't he just wouldn't he reconnect himself?
I've seen him do that before. I don't know why he didn't just reconnect himself.
It is, that is, I guess, one of the inconsistent things.
In the books too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we just watched the Hulk versus Wolverine thing, which wouldn't necessarily be like the definitive thing, but he does reconnect the arm, which I think he's even mentioned before that it's easier if he's reconnecting and healing that way as opposed, because it takes a lot longer to regenerate from scratch, although he could.
It's funny.
But
I think that's why they did it, because it was funnier.
Yeah,
but
that's got to be it, actually.
I guess if I was him and I needed to go somewhere faster, I would not wait. But I feel like it feels like it goes sometimes. It's also depending on how funny it is,
exactly.
How fast he regenerates too. Because I remember I felt last time it took him like a week to regrow his one arm in the first movie or something.
His hand
or his hands, because the baby hand, and then and this time it was like, no, it's just a few hours and I'll be cooking and ready to go.
Yeah.
And just
like a whole half a body that seems like it shouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Oh, and that was really gross, but it was really,
Juggernaut just like.
Yeah. Well, they obviously went back for the costume as well, because the duct tape around the bottom half when he put back together. So that was strange that they wouldn't just try to.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was a small detail they didn't point out, but that was a good detail. You were right. Yeah, that he's all.
I noticed the duct tape. Why did they have it on his arms though?
I think maybe the sleeves got ripped too at the same time, or
was it because he got shot by Cable?
Maybe there's some other time when something got ripped off.
Around here.
Yeah, around the.
Maybe there's an alternate take where he did more than that. Like maybe he ripped off his arms and ripped off his.
That makes sense. That probably makes more sense.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good. Or maybe they're just like the one time Fox is like, "Look, we love what you're doing, but that's too far,
too much."
Like I think you either need to commit to the half bod ripoff and all the guts therein, or just don't
draw and quarter him.
Ooh.
Well, at the beginning, he was blowing apart limb from limb too, so maybe that had.
Maybe it's something that we didn't notice until then, because it was just right here in the torso, and then we're like, oh, there's some right here, and
I don't know. I'll have to when I rewatch it.
We'll have to rewatch it again.
Yep.
I wish we could critically more. I feel like this is just going what our favorite parts of the movie were. It's not a bad thing, but like usually there's something outside of the two characters getting killed, and one of them was actually an actual real critique of the movie. The other one was just the other one was just more like fan service. Why did you have to do that? The other one was like a legitimate gripe. But
I still have mixed feelings about her being in the movie. The first one that much anyway, as far as focusing on that as being part of his origin necessarily. It's just, being around by the end of the movie in the sense of we're going to have a normal relationship now, kind of.
But I feel like it was also very smart of them too, because it helped them sell the movie in different ways, and it needed that.
You're right.
I don't know.
I think it needed it because I'm trying to think of, there would have only been one woman in it, two women in it, and they would never have talked to each other.
Well, apart from that issue, I'm glad that I think it helped it become marketable enough, certainly with mainstream audiences, and you could sell it as like, look at how redeeming this romance is.
And I'm pretty bad at this. What are the is it 3 steps of the Bechdel test?
First one is there are two women in it
with names.
No, that is not one of the things.
I swear to God,
no, Keith, I've looked it up. You look it up right now.
I've heard it. 2 named women.
It's not. No, that is a further. If you want to make it harder, they have to be named.
It's like the MLA guidebook version of the Bechdel test.
Yes. So,
but the basic version of it is the 2 women. The basic version,
2 women. They have to talk to each other, and the third step is not about a man.
Could you say it kind of happens in this movie with Yukio and Sonic Warhead?
Yes. No. I mean, it passed in this, but I don't think it passed
in the first one.
The thing about that is, I think the spirit of that should. I think the spirit of that should really be, because obviously,
you can always have people.
About something or someone, but I think it's more like the romantic kind of.
The romantic kind of talking.
Yeah, he's such a good guy because of this, or he did this to me, or whatever.
Well, it wasn't romantic at all. Then that was more like a friendly.
Yes.
Okay, so then that passes that. But what's the next?
It asked whether 2 women who talk to each other about something other than a man, and the requirement, the 2 women, the extra requirement is that 2 women must be named. Is sometimes added, the requirement.
Okay.
Those are the 3 things.
All right.
2 women. They talk to each other.
Okay.
And it can't be about a man.
I mean, Blind Owl kind of talks to Domino, but not really. But again, it is kind of about Deadpool, though.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. Okay. Fair enough.
About something other than a man.
That kind of feels like the old Craig Ferguson bit, which is a good advice for marriage. People out there, I listen to it all the time. Does this need to be said? Does this need to be said by me? Does this need to be said by me right now? It's the same thought. It's just the same thing. I'm telling you, it works. It sounds very similar. Like it's the thought process. It just keeps going a little bit further. I'm really bad at that. I recognize a little bit.
I do it with every book that I read, and when I write a review for it, and then I do it with every movie, or I try to.
That's smart. I need to start doing that, because sometimes I am the top percentile when I watch that movie. I'm feeling good about life. So I guess so in my mind I was like, oh, things turned out really well for people here. Kinda. Not for Maureen Baraka. I'm not saying her name right, so just drink. But her character, definitely not. But
Vanessa. You just call her Vanessa.
Oh, thank you. See? Life hacks. Just call them by their character name. Do not call them by their real name, or it'll be very bad. AKA, you as the listener will be drunk, and that's bad for me. All right, that's really it. So do more plugs for everything?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Marianne's Macabre Movie Review will be taking a hiatus.
Okay.
However, when we come back in October...
Okay.
We will have a bunch of new stuff for you.
Sweet.
I am looking to branch out into Marianne's Macabre Review, so we can review all these new horror TV shows that are coming out.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And maybe even books.
A movie. Yeah.
And maybe even web series. If there's any web series that we might want to...
If only we knew someone.
I know.
Red Room. And Keith, I figure I know what yours is, but I'll let you do this, because also you have those beautiful pipes, so...
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck, Keith. I'm not helping you.
Thank you. Well, the thing that Marianne wants me to talk about...
Oh, yeah.
are the audiobooks that I've done in the past, and
we'll
do again at some point.
Yeah, that's right.
Available on audible.com. Under the name J. Keith Jackson's the narrator. And I also have a Facebook page for J. Keith Jackson for the voiceover, so it's easier to find some of the things I've been working on from there. There's also It's All Been Done Radio Hour, which Nick is probably aware of. He's part of the flagship of that.
Thank you, Keith and Marianne, for sharing those plugs. If you liked this episode, check out our past episodes at gbgpodcast.com and leave a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, and anywhere that podcast. It changes. It used to be Google Play, and now it's something else. So, but we're excited that you follow around that. But yeah, leave us a review, and if you don't hear us talk about it on the show, please email me, because I don't get a chance to check everything all the time, and so it might be a little behind. But if you do, I will read it on the show. Now note, if it's a bad review, I'm not going to read it on the show. But if it's a great review, you're darn right, I'm going to show you some love too. So and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and we changed the Facebook page. The links on the website are not up to date, but everything is now Good Bad Geeky. So facebook.com/goodbadgeeky, Instagram username goodbadgeeky, Twitter name goodbadgeeky. It's branding. So easier for you, hopefully easier for me. And all right, thanks again to Marianne and Keith, and stay tuned next episode, which I don't know what will happen. I think we're doing, I don't know, solo?
I'm into that one.
Solo. So
as a hopeful main topic.
Yeah, so
I still love that.
As a hope. well, here's the thing: is that okay? Well, thanks for listening. We'll keep talking after.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!